On this week's program, we get an update from K-State's Rich Llewelyn about the annual Risk Profit Conference that will be offered online this year. And Erika Poppelreiter talks with the new Kansas Ag in the Classroom Executive Director, Nancy Zenger-Beneda. We also have features from Kansas Corn, Kansas Wheat, and the Kansas Livestock Association, and markets from Pinion. Brought to you in part by the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers. Kansas Farm Bureau, a grassroots ag organization representing the state's farm and ranch families since 1919, kfb.org. And the Kansas Wheat Commission, lending in the adoption of profitable innovations from wheat, online at kswheat.com.
Sure Crop Fertilizers was started by my father, Don Sherman, and my mother, Shirley Sherman. Family business that started in the 80s. We predominantly focus on plant nutrients and what we can do to give growers better responses with the fertilizer dollars that they do, and what we can do to make those things work better for the grower. We're based out of Seneca, Kansas. We work with growers in their soil analysis to figure out what they need, and then we can put those in a blend that gives them the best results, and so that we can deliver that direct to their farm so that they have those nutrients where they need them, when they need them, and so that they can apply them in a manner that's very efficient to them and works well on their planting systems and what they're doing. Sure Crop Fertilizers has been around for a long time. We always say we're big enough to take care of everything you need, but yet we're small enough to do it quickly. You can get a hold of us at 1-800-635-4743. Our website is surecropfertilizers.com, and you can always email me at corey@surecropfertilizers.com, and with any questions you have, we're glad to answer it and work with you.
In agricultural news from agview.net, numerous state agriculture departments, along with USDA, urging consumers not to plant seeds that have been sent to them from China. Americans all over the country, including Kansas, have reported receiving unsolicited seeds from China in packages that were labeled as jewelry. Now, these unknown seeds are a concern for American farmers, as they could be invasive species or introduce diseases to local plants or even be harmful to livestock. USDA considers this practice agriculture smuggling, and all states reporting the practices are asking consumers to notify their state Department of Agriculture. Consumers are also asked not to open those sealed packages that are containing the seeds, and then don't throw those unsealed seeds in the trash. They could grow in landfills. The packages may be part of what's called a brushing scheme, where criminals buy their own cheap products, send them to a real address, then write a positive review about the product online. Similar packages containing seeds also showing up in mailboxes in Britain as well. Well, at the end of July, the nation's corn and soybean crops were over 70%, a good to excellent shape according to weekly updates from the National Agricultural Statistics Service, and these are well over 20 points better than they were last year. As we recall, the 2019 crops were hampered by planting delays due to excess moisture. Well, the moisture received over much of the state the end of July has brought on weed pressure on some summer fallow ground as well as wheat stubble, and producers are encouraged to take control of their volunteer wheat to avoid diseases in next year's crop. And at one time, Kansas grew a whole lot of potatoes in areas of that dark and dry, fertile soil, but now they're primarily grown in gardens for self-consumption or taken to farmers markets. But nationally, retail potato sales reached a 5-year record high in July of last year through June of this. U.S. Potato Marketing Organizers, Potatoes USA, reports that total potato sales have increased by 11% in dollars and 10% in volume. Every category except for those deli-prepared sides increased in both dollar and volume sales. Frozen, dehydrated, and canned potatoes saw double-digit increases in both dollar and volume sales. Potato chips and fresh potatoes made up the majority of the volume sales, and both saw increases in dollars and volume. Now, pack sizes greater than 10 pounds also saw an increase in excess of 20% in dollar and volume sales, and fresh potatoes had a larger dollar sale increase than any in the last 5 marketing years. Well, you can find more on these and other ag news online, agview.net. Stay with us.
Many seed companies claim to offer the latest genetics, but how many have tested those genetics in soils just like yours? The Oldie Seed Know to Grow research program has fully tested the latest seed genetics in soils that are right in your neighborhood. The Oldie Seed Know to Grow program can recommend the best performing hybrids from technologies like Enlist, Extend, and Liberty Link that will optimize the yield and profit of every acre on your farm. Contact Oldie Seed today.
Sure Crop Fertilizers was started by my father, Don Sherman, and my mother, Shirley Sherman. Family business that started in the 80s. We predominantly focus on plant nutrients and what we can do to give growers better responses with the fertilizer dollars that they do, and what we can do to make those things work better for the grower. We're based out of Seneca, Kansas. We work with growers in their soil analysis to figure out what they need, and then we can put those in a blend that gives them the best results, and so that we can deliver that direct to their farm so that they have those nutrients where they need them, when they need them, and so that they can apply them in a manner that's very efficient to them and works well in their planting systems and what they're doing. Sure Crop Fertilizers has been around for a long time. We always say we're big enough to take care of everything you need, but we're small enough to do it quickly. You can get a hold of us at 1-800-635-4743. Our website is surecropfertilizers.com, and you can always email me at Corey@surecropfertilizers.com, and with any questions you have, we're glad to answer and work with you.
Ag Promo Source is a unique group of marketing specialists with one mission: help your ag business grow. Each affiliate has their own area of expertise, and they work together to bring you advice, products, and services. To get started, visit agpromosource.com. Ag Promo Source. Together we grow.
And joining us now is Rich Llewelyn with K-State, and this COVID situation has brought many challenges, and one of those is one of the conferences I look forward to covering every year, and that's the Risk Profit Conference. And Rich, thanks for joining us, but there's been a bit of a change, but as they say, the show must go on.
Well, it's going to a little bit differently than it does most years. This is our 26th year, and we've never done it like this. But we were waiting, kind of hoping restrictions get lifted in Manhattan, but they're not such that we could do it in person this year. So we moved it online and spread it out through the whole week that it was originally scheduled on Thursday.
So typically it's kind of all one action pack, but it'll be interesting to see how this works. That maybe you can still be in the comfort of your home or at your office, get some other things done, but still participate and learn all this information. Because Rich, as we all know, these are some absolutely challenging times in agriculture. Even though through this whole pandemic, agriculture was out there every day working, but there's still things that we need to know to manage risk and do our best to be profitable.
Well, and that's what we're trying to do. We're continuing some of the topics we had on our spring COVID webinar series. And so kind of continuing some of that discussion as we move into this, just trying to help folks figure out what is going on, what may be coming in the markets and stuff as well. So, yeah, we're trying to present this in a way that folks can still be part of it, and we'll also make the recordings available for the folks to register too. So if they're not able to get on live, they could be on later and take a look at the slides and the recordings.
So let's talk about that, how folks can register, what the costs are, and so on, and just all that availability. What are some of those steps?
Well, the agmanager.info website under events has the Risk and Profit Conference. And so that would be the place to go. It would have the registration link as well as the full schedule. It'll be every day around noon. And then Thursday, when we had it originally scheduled, we've got a little bit more going on that day. So a couple presentations every day. So they could go to that, or my email is rvl at ksu.edu, and they could contact me and I could get them the information they need. It's $30 for the whole conference, and that includes the live meetings as well as the recordings and the slides exclusively afterwards.
And then we're also going to try to catch some folks, those presenters, because I tell you, some of that information that comes out is very interesting. And I probably should have saved those things over the years, as especially we look at some of the economics of it, how things have changed. I always find that very fascinating. But the other thing, Rich, that I really enjoy is Dr. Taylor, her presentation on land values and all the things, the research that she's doing.
And she's got a session this time. It won't directly be on land values, but she's looking at an interesting topic of landlord and tenant relationships and some of the things that affect that. And it's going to be pretty practical too. They've done some survey work and also met with some small groups of farmers, both tenants and landlords in the same group, and had some discussions that they've learned quite a bit from. So yeah, she has some really interesting stuff.
The Risk Profit Conference comes up August 10th through the 14th. Agmanager.info is where you can register and get more information. So, Rich, thanks a lot for joining us.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Rich Llewelyn, K-State Risk and Profit Conference coming up here in the coming days. Stay with us. More in just a moment.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
Sure Crop Fertilizers was started by my father, Don Sherman, and my mother, Shirley Sherman. Family business that started in the 80s. We predominantly focus on plant nutrients and what we can do to give growers better responses with the fertilizer dollars that they do, and what we can do to make those things work better for the grower. We're based out of Seneca, Kansas. We work with growers in their soil analysis to figure out what they need, and then we can put those in a blend that gives them the best results, and so that we can deliver that direct to their farm so that they have those nutrients where they need them, when they need them, and so that they can apply them in a manner that's very efficient to them and works well in their planting systems and what they're doing. Sure Crop Fertilizers has been around for a long time. We always say we're big enough to take care of everything you need, but we're small enough to do it quickly. You can get a hold of us at 1-800-635-4743. Our website is surecropfertilizers.com, and you can always email me at Corey@surecropfertilizers.com, and with any questions you have, we'll be glad to answer and work with you.
Erika Poppelreiter here. This week, we catch up with Kansas Foundation for Ag in the Classroom's new Executive Director, Nancy Zenger-Beneda. She shares the importance of the organization to the youth in the state of Kansas, as well as how you can get involved.
Well, I learned from my experience at the community college that we really have to talk to our young people at a young age to help them develop their perceptions of what opportunities are out there for them. I mean, by the time they get to high school, they've really already determined what they think their opportunities are. So it means we have to start talking to students at a younger age if we're going to make an impression. And we've just seen an interruption in our food supply chain. So there hasn't been a better time for us to talk about how important it is to sustain that chain and what farmers are doing to keep that chain open and provide food. And so this is a great opportunity to reach those students that may not know about agriculture and may not be aware of where their food comes from and how the whole system works. So it's a great time to take an opportunity to reach out and get to know and to share that information with students. But then it's not just today, but as we see generations become farther removed from agriculture and production and that direct knowledge, we recognize that we have fewer people to influence what happens in agriculture. And so to have a greater understanding about food production and about legislation that impacts agriculture and how when they make voting decisions, it may influence that food supply chain is really an important message for the few of us to try to share with the majority that may not know. So that's a really important part of the work of the organization. And for that reason, it makes this organization just vital to the future of the agriculture industry.
Nancy says they're always looking for more people to become involved in the organization. She shares more on how to become active in Kansas Foundation for Ag in the Classroom.
Well, we're always looking for people to join our committees or volunteer and help on our board, or educators that might be interested in helping us expand the resources that we have available to teachers. So you can find us at ksagclassroom.org, and there you would find our contact information where you could contact Brianna or myself. And we look forward to visiting with anybody that's interested in helping us fulfill our mission of ag in every classroom every day.
Thanks again, Nancy, for that update. Again, if you want to get involved with Kansas Foundation for Ag in the Classroom, visit ksagclassroom.org.
These days, no one can afford to take the risk of being without financial protection against high health care costs, not even for a few days. Kansas Farm Bureau health plans offer short-term health care coverage to fill in those temporary gaps. Short-term health plans can provide you with medical coverage when you are between health plans, helping lower your potential financial risk. Learn more at kfbhealthplans.com or contact a Farm Bureau financial services agent near you.
Kansas Corn reminds you that E15 fuel is the right choice for every kind of driver. For the car enthusiast, E15 has higher octane. For the thrifty driver, E15 is priced lower than regular unleaded. For the nature lover, E15 provides cleaner air. For the shopper who buys local, E15 has more ethanol from our Kansas corn farms. Choose E15 for a higher octane, lower price, cleaner American fuel. Message from the Kansas Corn Commission. Learn more at kscorn.com.
So I am really excited that we will be on the road for our 5th year for the Kansas Corn Listening Tours, and we've had our first 2 stops on the 5th and the 6th in Shawnee County and Clay County, and we'll be continuing to move around the state. So the 10th is in Humboldt at Geffert Farms. The 11th is in Reno County at Sand Hills Event Center. The 12th, we move out west to southwest Kansas to in the Montezuma area to High Plains Feed Yard, and then we end up the tour out in Rexford, Hoxie area at Mitchell Ballman's farm. So the tour stops are open to anybody in the industry and farmers. If you are open to coming out for an event, it will be from 6 to 8 in the evening, and we are asking that everyone needs to register. So you can register and find all the details and the addresses and everything at kscorn.com/tour on our website, or just go to our homepage. They're also on Facebook, so you can find it pretty easy, but we need everyone to register through the website, so if there are any changes, we can make sure that they let that know. We'll be highlighting ethanol, trade, education, and opportunities to engage virtually and in person, and so we really hope to see those that are able to come out and participate. Each stop will include dinner and beverages, and so it's a very conversation opportunity. We call it the listening tour because it's not just come to listen to us for updates, but we really ask for feedback from the farmers around the state so that our board can take that information and make decisions as they plan for the next year.
Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn for livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas Corn with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com.
Grain sorghum is one of the most important cereal crops worldwide, and Kansas leads the nation in its production. Over the years, sorghum has been either exported, used in animal feed domestically, or for other industrial uses. Recently, its use in the ethanol market has seen tremendous growth, with 30% of domestic sorghum typically going to ethanol production. Kansas Grain Sorghum is committed to sorghum research, market development, and education. Learn more at ksgrainsorghum.org.
K-State wheat breeder Alan Fritz says he has 2 hard red winter wheat lines that are expected for release later this year by Kansas State University. Fritz said the 2 new lines planned for central Kansas growing conditions show promise for leaf rust resistance and have performed well in university trials. One variety, KS09049K8, is partially the offspring of 2 Kansas varieties, Duster and Overly. Fritz said it's a medium early variety, and it's really the culmination of our efforts to breed race non-specific lines for leaf rust resistance. This holds up very well to leaf rust. He said the new wheat line is moderately tolerant on acid soils and has very good tillering capacity. The quality of this one is good, and it does have some Hessian fly resistance. The line is moderately susceptible to stripe rust. A second wheat line ready for release is currently known as KS12DH015688, which has lineage connected to an Oklahoma State University wheat named Gallagher. Fritz says this one is more intermediate on acidic soils, so if you're getting into soils with a fairly low pH level, I might lean towards planting something else. But this one will handle soils with pH levels down to at least 5, and maybe even a little lower than that. Fritz said both of these lines are susceptible to fusarium, and thus he does not suggest either as an option in no-till fields following corn.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
Many seed companies claim to offer the latest genetics, but how many have tested those genetics in soils just like yours? The Oldie Seed Know to Grow research program has fully tested the latest seed genetics in soils that are right in your neighborhood. The Oldie Seed Know to Grow program can recommend the best performing hybrids from technologies like Enlist, Extend, and Liberty Link that will optimize the yield and profit of every acre on your farm. Contact Oldie Seed today.
Producers in several Kansas counties now are eligible to apply for livestock forage disaster program benefits on native and improved pasture land with permanent vegetative cover or certain crops planted specifically for grazing, such as small grains, annual rye, grass/crabgrass, and forage sorghum. The livestock forage program provides compensation to those who suffer grazing losses for covered livestock due to drought on privately owned or cash leased land. Eligible producers must complete ACCC-853 and the required supporting documentation no later than February 1st, 2021 for 2020 losses. Additionally, certain Kansas Conservation Reserve Program acres may be harvested or grazed outside the primary nesting season April 15th through July 15th in counties that have reached at least a D2 drought status in the U.S. Drought Monitor. Individual county drought status will be approved and updated weekly at the National Farm Service Agency level. Livestock producers should contact their local county FSA office to verify county eligibility and learn specific program details before taking any action.
What if U.S. soybean meal were more than a commodity? If seed companies and the soybean checkoff built a better variety? That future is here. The time is now. To meet end-user demands, the Soybean Checkoff is investing in the compositional quality of soybeans, including meal. A message from the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
ValleyVet.com is your one-stop shop for your every animal need, from prescription meds, vaccines, equipment, and more for the ranch to the show ring. Shop ValleyVet.com for fast shipping and great prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
At Farm Credit, we partner with America's farmers who work hard each and every day to grow the food that we all enjoy. It's not an easy task, but it's an important one. Farm Credit is proud to work with farmers and ranchers, lending support in rural America.
Good morning. My name is Aaron with Pinion, a division of Keiko Isom, and I am here to talk about the cash grain markets. Corn basis here has been relatively steady recently. Areas around end users such as Southwest Kansas feeders have seen good values that are pulling bushels from across western Kansas. The upcoming crop is looking very good almost everywhere, and with timely rains we have been seeing, we don't foresee many issues coming up. USDA had corn in the dough stage at 22%, 5% above the 5-year average. The condition was 72% good to excellent, well in front of last year at this time, at 58% good to excellent. As we get closer to harvest, I would look to see basis get weaker as this huge crop progresses. Soybean basis has been very tight in eastern Kansas and Missouri areas, and good push has been hard to come by. Like the corn, beans are looking excellent and have been seeing some great rains to help them along. USDA has soybeans setting pods at 43%, 7% above the 5-year average. Conditions improved this week, and the year-over-year 72% good to excellent, ahead of last year at 54% good to excellent. As with this corn basis doesn't seem like it has a real great reason to get stronger with the great crop coming up for us. Strong export demand and purchases might be what helps us with this. Wheat basis continues to be interesting for now and has been given some people some good opportunities to make some sales. Protein premiums are out there for people to take advantage of, but they have to have protein in their wheat, and knowing that definitely pays off. Milo basis, both good and old, very attractive right now. If you have Milo in the bin or growing Milo for this fall, please look at some basis values and consider getting some sold. If you have any questions or are looking for help getting values for your grain or are wanting other selling advice, please give us a shout at 888-452-8751.
Well, thank you for joining us. If you have questions or comments, even suggestions, email me, ken@agview.net. I'm Ken Rahjes. We'll see you next time on Authentic Ag.
When your college career begins, you'll have the opportunity to build upon your skills. One of those opportunities could be joining a collegiate Farm Bureau chapter. With programs at 19, 2, and 4-year schools around the state, you can't go far without the possibility of joining a chapter. They provide opportunities to meet new friends and mentors, build leadership skills, and experience statewide events and gain eligibility for scholarships. Want to learn more? Visit www.kfb.org/collegiate.
ValleyVet.com is your one-stop shop for your every animal need, from prescription meds, vaccines, equipment, and more for the ranch to the show ring. Shop ValleyVet.com for fast shipping and great prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
Kansas Corn reminds you that E15 fuel is the right choice for every kind of driver. For the car enthusiast, E15 has higher octane. For the thrifty driver, E15 is priced lower than regular unleaded. For the nature lover, E15 provides cleaner air. For the shopper who buys local, E15 has more ethanol from our Kansas corn farms. Choose E15 for a higher octane, lower price, cleaner American fuel. Message from the Kansas Corn Commission. Learn more at kscorn.com.
Ag Promo Source is a unique group of marketing specialists with one mission: help your ag business grow. Each affiliate has their own area of expertise, and they work together to bring you advice, products, and services. To get started, visit agpromosource.com. Ag Promo Source. Together we grow.